Hey folks, this is Dr. K, and this is a video recording of how to approach the locked out adventure game puzzle. Okay, this is in lieu of, there is no Zoom recording today because I did not hit record. But that turned out to be a blessing in disguise because it was kind of chaotic anyway. So I'm going to try to give you a more structured approach to implementing, in general, implementing these things. And the first thing I want you to notice is that once you go through up to and including assignment 10, which is the box class, you have pretty much all of the tools that you need to implement this game. Okay, you might have to create a couple custom classes, but you can get probably 90% of the way there by just the classes that you already have. Okay, so here's a big secret. The place where most everything takes place is in my game. Okay, once you have the classes, all right, the place where most things take place is in my game. And this is going to be not perfect. This is going to be a little chaotic too, but I'm going to try to approach it slowly, and I'm going to try to run it as soon as possible. Okay, as many times as possible. Now, you can see right away that in my code here, if you look over here, you can see it's already got squiggly lines on here. And it's got squiggly lines because there is an error. All right? And the error is indeed in my game. So if I click on, I guess I can't click on, actually, let me see if I can click on that line. Okay, well, I guess I can't click on that line, but I can see that the error is in my game, and then I can go to my game and I can scroll down, and you can see I got the error here. So I'm just going to click on that, and it takes me to line 45. And the problem is there's nothing in here. Okay, so this actually moves the player to the starting room. Right, but I don't have a starting room yet because notice I didn't declare any rooms, I didn't initialize any rooms, and I do want to take you a little bit through a little bit through this my game file, and I want you to notice there are three main sections. One is where you just declare a bunch of objects, okay, and I like this order. I like to declare rooms first, doors, then containers, persons, and then items last. Okay, because items don't hold any other items like containers do. And then you have the my game constructor. This is your constructor, and you're going to declare game objects here, but you're going to initialize them here in the constructor. And that's typical of what you do in Java with when you're creating a field or something. You usually declare the field right in front of right at the beginning of the class, and then you initialize those fields in the constructor. So we're doing the same thing. The only thing we're doing a little bit different is, well, we've got we're initializing the player here, but what we're doing in addition to initializing things is we're constructing the game tree. And this is where you put things in other things. You put game objects in other containers, all right? And you can kind of see that from this object tree, which is in Project 3. There's a link to this in Project 3. You have this root, and this root is actually a game object. It is a type of game object, and all of the rooms are inside of this root game object. So this root is actually a container, a kind of container. All right. And all the rooms are there. That's one way you can tell they're a room if they're inside of this root object. There's the player. The player is a container. Anything in yellow here is a container. The flower pot, shelves, the shoebox. Now the wall lamp is special because it's one of the most, probably the most sophisticated item in this locked out adventure. I'm not going to talk about the wall lamp at all today. I'm going to talk about that in another, there'll be like a coding session, maybe on a Friday or something like that, where I will talk about the wall lamp. Okay. You can see I have front door and the side door. Side door is in the garage. Front door is an outside house. Okay. And then these things in orange, they are my items. So I've got a house key, I've got a screwdriver, and I've got a light bulb. Okay, and I've got containers. The shelves are a container. The shoebox is a container. All right. And that's it for right now. All right, I'm going to start going into the code, and I'm going to start tweaking the code a little bit in ways that I think will simplify things. Okay. So here's my code. Okay. And one of the ways I'm going to try and simplify things is I don't really like when I'm doing something quick and dirty, I don't want to have to set the name and the description. Okay, so I'm going to see if I can fix that. Actually, I think I've got it fixed for the game object. It has a single argument constructor, okay, which you just pass in the name, and then you can pass in the description too, it looks like. And if you don't pass in a description, the description is empty. I think I'm just going to modify this a little bit. Okay, I see what's happening. So the one argument constructor with just name in it is calling the two argument constructor with a name and a description. Okay, and what you have here is you have the name in the two argument constructor and the description is empty. Okay, so that's where it's making the description empty. And I'm going to see if I can change that. So it's saying if the description is null, say it says the description cannot be null. But what if the description is empty? Well, the name cannot be empty. The name cannot be empty or null. That's what that part is saying. And let me expand this a little bit so you guys can see what's going on. And the name has to be in kebab case. All right, description can't be null, which we already said. And I've got this name equals name and this description equals description. This is a little problem if the description is empty, then you don't really see anything. I would kind of like to see something, so I don't really want the description to be totally empty. So I've got this condition here: if name equals null or name is empty. Let's see, can I do that here? I'm setting the description equal to the description, but I'd like to say something similar here. If description is null or description is empty, okay, I'd kind of like to say this dot description equals, I'll just say this to put something in there. This object needs a description. Okay, and otherwise I'll set this to this description equals description. So if it's not null or empty, I'm setting description to the argument. If it is null or empty, I'm setting it to this object needs a description. And we're going to see that a lot, probably, in the runs that I do, because I'm not going to set the description. I'll leave that as an exercise to you guys. And then we put the object into that. So I think that is the first thing I need to do, and that is fine. The other thing I'm going to do in GameObject is something I think I suggested in one of my announcements, but I'm going to go ahead and do it here. I'm going to say... Actually, I'm going to do one more thing, sorry. I'm saying that this object needs a description. I would rather say the description equals I would rather use captain name needs a description, because then I know exactly what it is. So if this is, it can even be a room, the kitchen, the diamond ring needs a description. So that just gives me, because I've already got this captain name here, so I might as well use it. That'll be nice. Okay, so back to the thing that I was going to suggest that is in every game object. A game object has these fields here: articles, name, description, parent. Okay, I'm going to add one more. I'm going to say private Boolean is solved equals false. Okay, and the reason I'm doing that is because I find that in adventure games, almost every object can be part of a puzzle. And if you solve the puzzle, if like the wall lamp is solved, then that might mean you've replaced the light bulb or something like that. Now the question is, this is private, so I should probably have a getter and a setter for this. So let me actually do that through IntelliJ. I'm going to go code, generate, and I'm going to generate a getter and a setter for is solved. So let's see, I've got is solved, and I'm just going to put OK. And I've got a Boolean is solved now that I can call. That's a method. It's public. And I've got a Boolean where I can set the puzzle solved status to true or false. Okay, simple as that. Is solve. Okay, fantastic. So that's all I wanted to do there. And I think game object is good now. So let's go back to my game. And let me actually, I just want to look at something like room and see what room does. So room calls through to super name. A room is a container. And the container is a game object. Okay, so if the container is one argument constructor, also calls through to supername. So basically, it's going to do the right thing as far as the description is concerned. So that's what I was concerned about, and it looks like it's doing the right thing. Okay, so now back to the My Game class where all the magic happens. The first thing we're going to do here is we're going to declare all the rooms in our game. Okay. And we got outside house, driveway, garage, and kitchen. And we need to make them private final. Private final outside house. Oh, I'm sorry. Private final room. I'm sorry, we have to have the type. In fact, I'll just put that here as a reminder. The private final outside house, and that's all we're going to do there. It's going to give us an error that says it may not have been initialized, but that's okay. We're going to initialize this in the constructor. We're going to initialize all of our rooms, all of our objects, as a matter of fact, in the constructor. So let's do another one, private final room, and I'm just going to, let's see, I'll look here. Outside house, driveway, garage, and kitchen. Okay, I'll do it in that order. Outside house, driveway, garage, private final room, kitchen. Okay, there's our 4 rooms. All right. And let's just keep going. Let's do the doors. There's 2 doors in our adventure. There's a front door and a side door. So let's go ahead and declare those. Make sure you know the difference between declaration and initialization. Okay, declaration, you don't assign a value to it. Okay. And we're using the convention where we're declaring them at the top of the class, and we're assigning values in the constructor. So private final door, because these are doors, we're going to use door. Private final door, front door. And then private final door, side door. Okay. Fantastic. Okay, we're moving right along here. So let's go with the containers. The containers are the flower pot, the shelves, and the shoebox. Now, some of these containers, since we have a box class, could be considered a box. So for now, this may change when I do the code session, but for now, I'm going to make the shoebox and the wall lamp a box. Okay, the flower pot and the shelves, I'm just going to make a simple container. Okay, so containers are private, final, and I'll do the containers first. Final, container, what did I say? I said the shelves and the flower pot. Flower pot. Private final container shelves. I'm going to do something special with the shelves if I remember. The default for containers when you're listing the contents says, you know, in the flower pot, okay, or something like that. But for shelves, it makes no sense to say in the shelves. So you might want to say something you see and then a list of things on the shelves or something like that. You want the word on for something that supports things. And you could make, somebody asked me this, you could make another class supporter that's basically a container with different, you know, a contents prefix and contents suffix. But we can also directly set the contents prefix and suffix. That's what I'm going to do here. I'm not going to make another class. Okay, so we got shelves, and I'm going to just add private final box, and I'm going to make the shoebox a box. That seems reasonable. And I'm going to do private final box for the wall lamp too. Okay, and that might not seem as intuitive. I think I posted an announcement that ChatGPT suggested that might be a good idea. And honestly, I don't know if I'm going to keep it that way. I'm inclined to create a custom class called wall lamp because I think it is kind of a sophisticated object. But for now, we'll keep it as a box. And the reason why is because I want to get things structured and set up relatively quickly here. I want to get room navigation working. I want to get the doors where the doors should be. I want to get I want to get things where they're supposed to be, like if they're supposed to be inside a container or something, or if they're supposed to be inside the room. I want to get all that done, and then I want to walk through the game and see if everything is where it should be. And then once you do that, you're like 80% there. Then it's just, you know, refining the puzzles and things like that. So let's go ahead and try to do all this stuff. We got the flower pot, we got the shelves, we got the shoebox, the wall lamp, and now we're left with these items. We got house key. So these are containers. A person you don't have to worry about. It's already going to be initialized in World Player. And the items are going to be, again, private final item. And then we got house key, screwdriver, and light bulb. House key, private final item, screwdriver, private final item, light bulb. Now, I would like to mention that if you look at the locked out puzzle and you look at the no, I'm just going to stick with this. Okay, I don't want to go down the road. I'm sorry, where I'm making things too complicated for myself. If there's anything more to say about this stuff, I'll say it in the coding session later in the week. Okay, so I've got all my items declared here, and now I want to initialize my objects. Okay, and I want to initialize the rooms first. So I got outside house, driveway, garage, and kitchen. So let's do that. Outside house equals new room. And the room, you want all of the keys, all of the unique identifiers, the names, you want them in kebab case. So this is just going to be outside dash house. So there should be a relationship between the object name, which is in camel case, and the name that the world map uses to identify this, which is in kebab case. So that's outside house, driveway, garage, kitchen. Driveway equals new room. This one happens to be the same. Driveway. And garage equals new garage. I'm sorry, new room. Garage. And then kitchen. Okay, so what do we have here? We have things that are initialized. So let's finish with the doors. We got a front door. Equals new door. And this is front dash door. We got a side door. New door. Side dash door. The player is already initialized. Okay. Then we can initialize the containers here. And we said that the flower pot and the shelves will be our containers. Flower pot equals container. Again, flower. We'll just use our convention, keeping the keys, the names the same, just in kebab case. Flower pot, shelves. And then we'll do our boxes. So the boxes are what? The shoebox and the wall lamp. Shoebox equals box. Shoebox. And then we'll do the wall lamp equals box. Wall dash lamp. Oops. Okay. Sorry. And then finally, we'll do our items. We have 3 items. We have the house key. And items are takeable. Okay, so house dash key. We have the screwdriver and the light bulb. Screwdriver equals item. And light bulb. Light bulb equals item. Light dash bulb. Okay, and basically now all of our items should be initialized. So we're getting these errors that say method call expected. Okay, so what is the problem? I'll give anybody 5 seconds to tell me what the problem is or think about it themselves. I can see it right away. These should all say new. new. Okay, these are constructors. New. New. And I probably didn't put this anywhere. Some languages do not. Kotlin is an example of a language where you don't have to put new. But Java you do, so that's fine. It tells you quickly if you made a mistake, so that's good. Okay, we put the new there. That's fantastic. So we've got everything initialized, and we're going to construct the game tree. We're going to keep this error here, but we have everything declared. We have everything initialized, and we're going to take a quick break and be right back.